everybody, welcome to another edition of Toddster's Magical Mystery Review. I'm your host Toddster, and today we're going to take a look at Paul McCartney and Wings Over America. Yes, his first live album came out December 10th, 1976 on Capitol Records, and yes, this is the live album of Wings' American tour of '76 between May and June of '76, and the whole tour was a big success, first time that Paul toured in like 10 years, since the Beatles, and what happened was he was planning to put out a double disc album of some highlights, but then there was a bootleg that came out in colored vinyl, and it was selling pretty fast, and so Paul decided, well, might as well put the whole show out, and instead of a double disc album, it came out as a triple disc album, and what he did was that he went through hundreds of hours of tape, and picked out some of the best of each track and all that, and it came out as this, and it's absolutely brilliant. So let's get to the songs, or the set list, or whatever you call it. So we start off with a medley of Venus and Mars, Rock Show, and Jet. And man, what a perfect beginning of a concert, and it really improves the original recording a bit, and there's some songs that are big improvements from the original recordings, but yet when I saw Paul the second time up in Phoenix like a few years ago, he actually opened with Venus and Mars, Rock Show, and Jet, and absolutely wonderful. And and come to think, he usually start off his show with a Beatles song, and then go into a Wings song or solo song. But and then we go into Let Me Roll It, wonderful rendition. And then Spirits of Ancient Egypt with Denny Lane singing, and in my opinion, this really surpasses the studio recording, and there's many others that are the same. And then we go to Jimmy McCulloch with Medicine Jar, and awesome guitar solo from him, and another top-notch performance. So that's the first side. So we flip the record and we go into the piano side, the second side, with probably the most definitive version of Maybe I'm Amazed, and it actually came out as a single, became a big hit, and it's a wonderful performance of that song, and and some people prefer this live version over the original version, but it's absolutely amazing. And then Call Me Back Again, okay rendition, and then we go into a couple of old Beatles songs, Lady Madonna and Long and Winding Road, and Lady Madonna, very faithful to the original version, and yet Long and Winding Road is definitely better than the original. So take that, Spectre. And then we go into Live and Let Die. Now I should talk a little bit about the song, since it never came out as a bonus track on his reissued albums. But it's a song that Paul wrote for the James Bond film back in '73, and it was only released as a single. It's a pretty hard driven version, and I wish they would have included Linda's introduction to the song, But yeah, so that's the second side. So we go into the second disc. We go into the acoustic side. Picasso's last words. Okay. It's an okay version. No, it's wonderful to hear Paul and Denny doing some ad lib French, and then it segues into Richard Cory, the old Paul Simon tune. It's sung by Denny Lane. It even jokes that wish that he could be John Denver. Then we go to Bluebird. Another song which is as good as the original, if not better. And then some more Beatles songs. I've Just Seen a Face. More of a hold down type version. And then Paul is all by himself with Blackbird and Yesterday, and you can tell, whenever he does the old Beatles numbers, the audience go mad, they go berserk. It's like, yeah, and yet the horns sound pretty good with the song. The horn, Paul had a horn section that he toured with, led by Howie Casey, his old mate from Liverpool, and so we flipped the record, going to the fourth side. You Gave Me the Answer, and then Magneto Entertainium Man. Pretty good versions. And then we go into Go Now. Yes, Denny Lane's old number from his Moody Blues days. It's pretty cool to have Paul and the gang tackle on this song. So not only we get to hear some bits of Paul's past, we get to hear a bit of Denny's past, and pretty cool. Then we go into My Love, and then Listen to What the Man Said, and then we go into the third disc, Let Him In. Another awesome performance with Denny Lane doing the little, carrying his little drum around, sort of like tipping his hat to the whole bicentennial celebration that was happening that year, 1976, 76. And then Time to Hide. Denny Lane sort of lets it all loose with this version. Then Silly Love Songs and Beware My Love. And Beware My Love definitely better than the original by a mile, in my opinion. Then we flip the record. We go into Letting Go and Band on the Run, and both awesomely cool renditions. And then and that was the show, and then they come back for an encore with Hi Hi Hi, and it's another version that outdoes the original. And then we finally end the show and the album with Soily, which a song that's usually intended as an encore, yet never came out as a single or an album in any format before. And this is where the lasers and the smoke dominate the stage during this number, and and it's an awesome way to end the show. And so that's the album. So what to say? Well, this is definitely Wings at its peak, and I think this is Paul's best live album, and I wish the only thing that I wish that he could have done is maybe put in a few more Beatles songs, but yet not only that, but maybe play something from Ram or Wildlife, just dig in everything that he could, but the set list is pretty spot on, and there's some songs here, as I said, as good and faithful as the original version, and that some are even better than the original. And yeah, so if you I do recommend, if you really enjoy this album, I do recommend getting the Rock Show DVD, which is the visual, which is the film that Paul put out of this tour, and yeah, it's pretty amazing. So as far as my ranking, I'm going to give this 4 poles out of 5. Yes, 4 poles for Wings Over America. Yeah, so my name is Toddster, and you just watched another edition of Toddster's Magical Mystery Review, and we'll see you next time. Until then, toodaloo!